Now that we've got the ball valve housing off the gun, bring it inside. We're going to change the seats and align the ball valves. First thing I like to do, makes things a little easier, put some rubber bands on the couplings, keep the cam ears from flopping around. And secondly, we're going to take that stop pin out, because the secret on repairing this unit is to be able to turn this ball valve around 360 degrees and use your alignment rods to center the ball valve in the proper position. So, first thing, 3/8 Allen wrench. Nice to have a little extension. Allen, we're going to take out these cap screws, and I've taken the liberty to take 3 of them out already, so I don't bore you to death taking this thing apart. Okay, there's your water inlet housing. That is now free. We put that aside. This exposes 3 of the retaining implements for the first seats. We call this one, the drain, seat 1. And you pull this plug out and it'll expose seat 1. Seat 2 is back here. Seat 3 we've just exposed, and seat 4 is down below here. So again, you're going to take this little cap screw out. There's 3 of them. I've taken 2 out previously. And you're going to take this little triangle plate off, and underneath is your seat. You can see that there's a little indentation in this triangle plate here. That goes toward the center. Both of them face each other. That will realign this triangle plate in the proper position when you reassemble it. So now we can see our ball valve down in here. Before I show it to you, I'm going to pull out these brass tubes that hold the other seats. And you can see they're different sizes, so you can't mix them up. Again, the seats are on top. To simply pull a seat out, you take your pick, you get underneath, you pull it out. Okay, the ball valve is now floating down here on seat, the final seat, seat 4. You can take your finger and a little pick, get down in here and pull it out. It's a simple 3-way ball valve. You can see we have a hole right through the middle, and then the short hole, the short axis, and our little cut for the valve stem. Now, I recommend that you don't take this ball valve apart completely. Even if both sides are leaking, leave one side assembled. Then if you ever lose your orientation on your ball valve, you can simply look at the other side and put it back together correctly. So, you're going to change the seat down here, pull it out, put the new one in, reorient your ball valve so the long axis is in the horizontal, because you're going to take an alignment pin when you drop it back in, and you're going to stick it through the long axis. So that's the way it's going to go into the ball valve, just like that, with the short axis hole pointing down. And it takes a little fingering to get that in there. Okay, so we've changed the bottom seat, ball valve's back in. You've changed the seats on these. You're going to put those back in after putting a little sill glide on the O-rings. That always helps putting them back together a little bit. Makes it easier. You're going to tighten those up. I'm not going to tighten it here because it takes a little too much time on camera. Okay, where's my retainer plate? Here's the retainer plate. You've got the indentation, that's going to go to the center. Okay, we've got all three of these screws now tightened on the triangle plate, and I'm going to align the ball valve. First step, remember you've now taken your stop pin out, so this handle can rotate 360 degrees. You take your stop pin and you drive it in all the way until it seats in the bottom of the opposite housing. And you'll see a little mark. There'll be a little mark on your pin. You want that mark to go all the way flush to the outside here. So that's pretty good. You might want to wiggle your handle a little bit. Then you bring your handle up, and again, you can look right down the ball valve now, all the way through it. And you see I put that pin in, and this doesn't go quite yet. So you want to move this handle a little bit, keep a little pressure, and there it goes. It's lined up. It's taken that ball valve and just moved it a little so that it sits on all of those seats. Then we'll take another pin, and we can go in now the short way and align that. And that looks pretty good. Okay, continue around the same direction. Put it in the other way. Make sure it goes all the way through. Then drop it in. What you're trying to do is get a 90-degree axis here in as many positions as you can. Just keep turning the handle 360 degrees and aligning the pin at every opportunity. Dropping that pin down through there. You have to wiggle it around a little bit. And when it bottoms out, you're centered. Pull it out. Continue back. You've now done it 360 degrees. You can align it again. And we look good. It went through that time. So, the handle's back in the closed position. You're looking at the solid part of the ball valve here. The main hole's horizontal, and the short hole is in the middle pointing down. So you're all set to go. You put your stop pin back in. Put a little sill glide on your O-ring. Put your water housing back on. Assemble this. And take it, put your 4 screws back in, assemble it. You're ready to have it go back on the gun. So let's take it outside and see if it's gonna leak.